So I wanted to do a video on smiles. So this is the Frederick's, I think it's Celebrated Razor, something like that. Yeah. And it's got a pretty good smile on it. You notice with these smiles, they also have the spine to coincide with it. And generally that's what they do, but sometimes they'll have a flat or a straight spine with the smile, but usually it's not too strong. It's usually like this one, just a gradual, it's not quite straight, but it's a little bit. And you notice that the spine is fairly straight. I'm noticing little spots on this horn. That's kind of weird. I think I'm going to redo this horn. I'm not quite happy with how that turned out, but I just retouched that one up. So, this one's already was honed, and I think it was a little too rough, so I'm going to take it back a little bit with some slurry, and with this dark gray thread talked about earlier. It's fairly fine, so I'm just basically resurfacing this stone, and what it does is it kind of takes the edge back a little bit from the high polish that I had on it from using the polishing paper or metal paper, whatever. It's for polishing metal. And so this is still fairly slippery finish or whatever, but this just roughs it up just a little bit. So I'm not having to reset no bevels or anything like that. I'm not trying to start off from scratch because I already know this is already set. It's shaved fairly well. Here it just sliding right in there. I'm gonna try to get close of it. This is just kind of tricky trying to do this. This light doesn't want to work regularly, and see what we can do. There, you can you see a fairly high polish. It's not the ideal thing, but it's what I got. Let's get a little bit centered. So, when you start, I don't know if you can see this, but basically you're putting your heel down. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Let me see if I can bring that up a little bit. But you see how you're getting that heel down in there first? You're not starting out like this. Sure, if you look at it, it kind of looks like it is, but with the smiling blade, the toe and the heel aren't going to touch. So ideally, starting out at an extreme angle, this is an fairly extreme smile. So by starting off on that corner like that, and you're running it down, I'm not touching intentionally, and you're running it down, you're sliding that, controlling that part of the stone, or you're controlling, touching that specific spot on the stone to control the amount of exposure or contact, contact's the right word, on the stone. And as you're going, you're bringing your elbow up. And part of the reason why I like doing the tape on these, because what'll happen is because you're doing that so much, you end up tending to push. I know you can adjust to do it, but you're tending to put a lot of wear on your toe, and ultimately that's gonna mess. I don't know if you can see that, how the bevel is thickened right there, but that's gonna put a whole bunch of wear on that part, on this part of the blade, because I don't know, you got more meat there, it's tending to it, you're tend to push on it that way. So I like using tape, especially once I've had the spine correction and adjusted to where it's cutting fairly even. It's not going to be perfect because it's just how things are, but if you're getting a consistent, even bevel for the most part, I would say that's a win for it. And then putting tape on it just helps it so you keep that spine wear consistent, and this way you get a fairly consistent bevel. So I would start like that and roll. And if you watch that water, you can pinpoint where it's going. And I like also, it's kind of hard with this in the wave, but I am pushing, not really pushing, but I am making sure that that blade in that specific area is touching that stone. So it's a little bit of both. And by doing the seesaw action as well, having your hand on the toe part of the spine, that's gonna do the same thing. But sometimes by having your finger up right where it's doing, and you're just drawing that along, you can do it one-handed, but I just feel better with it like that. And you just go slow with it, and basically you're feeling how the stone is coming in contact and reacting to that edge. And also having a torque on the blade to some extent helps keep that edge, and keeps you from having a little, well, not stutters, but you know how your wrist won't behave sometime, or your hands decide to do their own thing, but that helps firm your grasp on the razor and firm the contact, secure the contact on the stone. And by doing that, you're just sweeping along. And sure, you're not touching as much as a bevel to the stone at the same time like you would like a flat razor, but the thing is, you're getting precision more. You're more precision. You're not getting, like I said, pointed out before, you're not touching here and here and missing there. You're actually getting that specific spot, and you're not getting any other counterbalances when you're pushing across the stone. So that's the advantage of the Smile on a flat hone. But I don't know too much about fine finishing on a convex. I don't see it being much different. You're still getting that fine point contact. But as you go along, you're constantly keeping that stone or that edge engaged with the stone, changing directions with the scratch pattern. You can feel how it engages in the stone, different changes, and then it smooths out, and then you change the direction. You get to where you feel like those two different scratch patterns meet, and that will help your edge durability and whatchamacallit, integrity on your bevel as you refine it. That's what I found so far. And then, like in the last videos, I pointed out that the drawing the blade out will help pull the metal out to those points, but the stropping motion, but it also has its own caveat to it. But whatever works for you, as long as you're keeping that stone and metal contact consistent, you're good to go. And by what you see me doing the turn, what I'm doing is, even though you're running out of stone, it would be nice to have a super long stone, but as you pivot, I don't know if you can see the water, at least I can from mine, you see that it's making contact on the different sides. So by adding a little bit of pivot to it, you're ensuring that you're hitting all those spots, and then you're not just doing up on the edge. That's extreme, but that's what helps. Help you cover that all the points and parts on that blade. And so right here it's all consistent, has an even grab, and I'm gonna switch over and go to soapy water, or soap first, the concentrated Dawn soap, to polish what I just did. So I'll be back.